Hi class. Thought I'd help you out with a little bit on your studying for finals. I hope your studying for your other finals is going well too. And I hope you're having a good weekend. Okay, so most of the stuff I'm going to cover is just the graphing of lines. I want to make sure that you guys understand how to do the different types of graphing and solving for the different equations and getting the information from them. All right, we're going to start with number 13. And number 13 asks you to find the x and the y-intercept of the line. So the equation is given to you like so. And we want to find the x and the y-intercept as well as graph. So the most important thing is to just get the x and the y-intercept, and once you have those, then you have 2 points. You can graph the 2 points, and then you can connect the dots, and that'll be your equation of your line, or that'll be the line. All right. So how do you find the x-intercept? Remember, the x and the y-intercept. This is the y-axis, and this is the x-axis. And the way the x-intercept is the place where the line intercepts the x-axis. So it might be right here, but it has to be along this line. And the key thing is that y equals 0 at that point. And for the y-intercept, it has to intersect the y-axis. And when you have it intersect the y-axis, that means the x-coordinate is 0. So the way you find that is you plug in x equals 0 to get the y-intercept. I plug in x equals 0, I have 3y equals 6. Then I solve for y. Divide by 3, y equals 2. So I have the point 0, 2. And I can plot that. 0, 2. Okay, so that takes care of the y-intercept. If I want the x-intercept, I do the opposite. I set y equal to 0. When I put y equals 0 in here, this just disappears. And all I have left is negative x equals 6. And then I can divide by negative 1, and I have x equals negative 6. So I have the point negative 6, 0, and that gives me the x-intercept. So let's put that on the graph. That's negative 6. Now I have my 2 points. All I have to do is connect the dots, and I'll have the graph of the line. Okay, so that's how you do number 13. A lot of you have realized that the shortcut is to just take this number and divide into this number, and that gets you the numbers you need. So the y-intercept comes from dividing by 3, and the x-intercept comes from dividing by the negative 1. So if you like that shortcut and you feel comfortable with that, feel free to do that. Okay, let's move on to another type of problem. Graphing the horizontal and vertical lines. So number 15, and I'll put up number 29 at the same time, so you see them together. Okay, number 15 is y equals 2, and all you're required to do is graph that. And so this is a unique situation where you don't have x's and y's in the equation. When you only have the y, you have a horizontal line, and so simply you just go up to y equals 2, and you graph the horizontal line. And you can think of this as, when you don't have an x, you can think of it as being y equals 0x plus 2. So no matter what you plug in for x, if I plug in a 5 for x or a negative 3, I always get y equals 2. So that's why we get all these points and not just a single point. In number 29, I have x equals 2.5. And you can think of that as being x equals 0 times y plus 2.5. So no matter what value of y I plug in, if I could plug in -3 for y or positive 7, no matter what I plug in for y, this disappears and I always get x equals 2.5. Here's 2. 2.5 will be halfway between 2 and 3, and what we have is a vertical line. Okay, so this is vertical. Might as well learn the vocabulary. And horizontal. Okay, that takes care of those special cases. Any questions? Sorry, can't answer your questions. Feel free to make comments on the YouTube comment section. If you do have questions, I'll try to answer them. Or you can come in and ask me during school next week. Okay, let's move on. Let's look at number 17. Number 17 is given to you in this form, which looks a lot like this point-slope form. And remember that the reason we call it point-slope form is because in this equation here, the information that's present is the slope and the point. So if you look at this, it's y minus the y value, x minus the x value. So essentially what you do is you take the opposite of this number, and that gives you a point on your line. So the point for this line is the point x is 1, that's my x0, and y is -2. So that gives me a point on the line, and then the slope is m equals 3. Here's the m, it's attached to the parentheses where the x's are, and that number there is 3. Okay, and then the only directions that are given in this is for you to graph it. So let's graph it. And the way we graph it, it's so quick and easy. You just put the point, you plot the point on the axes. So that would be the point 1, -2. And then we have a slope of 3. A lot of you like to not look at this as a 3, but 3 over 1, so that you can see that this is rise over run. And so what we'll do is we'll start at our point. Make sure you start on the point you're given. And then I need to go up 3, that's the rise. 1, 2, 3. And then to the right 1, that's the run. So we'll go to the right 1. And that makes a little right angle there. And then we'll connect the dots. Remember, once you have 2 points on your for your line, you just connect the dots and graph it. Okay, so number 18 is the same as that. So that gives you an example to follow. Okay, let's look at number 19 next. Number 19, it says graph y equals 3x minus 1. 3x minus 1. What I need to do is look at this equation. Now you have to be able to recognize the difference between these two. Here, you're given the y-intercept is 1, and the slope is 3. Okay, that's the m. So you go and you graph the y-intercept. Okay, that has to be on the y-axis. There it is, right there. You put that point on there. And then you have a slope of 3. So I need to, again, this is 3 over 1, which is rise over run. You go up 3 and over 1. So up 3 over 1 and connect the dots. Okay, I will continue on the next video.